Hello everyone, Cindy here with Monarch Mom DIY. Thank you so much for joining me today on my channel where I love to bring you the best tips and tools for creating beautiful home decor on a budget. Today I'm very excited to be starting off my Craft Show 2021 series. I have 4 projects for you today. They are made using items from Dollar Tree, also some budget items from places like Walmart and maybe Michael's, Hobby Lobby. So I really hope you enjoy these projects. These are things that you can make if you are also doing a craft show, or you can make for your home or as gifts to give to others. So with all that being said, let's get crafting. For today's first project, we are making a Christmas countdown using 2 of these large wooden Christmas trees from Dollar Tree, some tumbling tower blocks or Jenga blocks, and a pair of the foam dice. So these wood trees are a fairly good size. They are a little bit on the thin side, so I am, for these projects, because I am selling them in my craft show, I am taking 2 of the trees and using some Titebond wood glue, I am wood gluing them together to make them the double thickness. So go ahead and line them up with your wood glue. I am putting craft clamps from Dollar Tree all the way around until it is completely dry. I just feel like this makes a much more substantial piece. Then taking some of my matte finish Mod Podge, I'm going to brush a thin layer of this all over the front of my Christmas tree, spritz some water on some fun red, green, and white gingham or plaid paper from Hobby Lobby, and lay that down, smooth it out, and let that dry completely as well. Now, coming to the dice, you could do the balloon method for these, but I realized that I was just putting numbers on these, so I went ahead and used my crimson chalk paint. I did 2 layers to completely cover the dots, and what you can see what I'm doing here is I do like the top, and then on all the sides I go about halfway down, let them dry, and then come back. Now that my scrapbook paper is dry on my Christmas tree, I'm just going to trim with some scissors those big corners, and then using my Fiskars fingertip knife, I'm just going to go around on my cutting mat and get all those edges as close as I can with the extra scrapbook paper. You'll see in a couple minutes that I'm then going to take sandpaper to really clean up those edges as well. Like I said, you can see there's a little bit of an edge yet to the scrapbook paper. So just taking a piece of sandpaper or a sanding sponge, just go down in a downward motion there to get off that extra scrapbook paper. It really cleans up the edges, and then it also gives you a nice little faded edging there going around just to add to that farmhouse look. Now I am using a generic Jenga blocks game. You can use the tumbling tower blocks from Dollar Tree or actual Jenga blocks. Just set your 2 foam dice down and see how big your box needs to be based on the blocks that you have. So here I am doing 8 of these blocks side by side here, and this is going to be, I'm going to make one of these for the bottom of my box and another one for the top. And then my 2 sides are each going to be 4 blocks. So you'll see here as I begin to build the box, what I'm making. So here's all my pieces dry. I did sand some of that glue that had seeped through, and I'm just going to give these 1 coat of my white Waverly chalk paint. And then once that is dry, we will put our box together, and this will hold the 2 dice that will have the numbers on them that you can change each day leading up to Christmas to count down the days. Now here's my 2 foam dice painted with the red chalk paint. I am using a sticker as a stencil. There are so many ways you can do this. You can just Mod Podge stickers on here. You can cut vinyl numbers. I'm just using, like I said, these stickers as a stencil, tracing them in pencil, and then once I get them all, I will fill them in with my black paint marker. Now I'm going to put here on the screen the numbers you need for your dice to be able to make all the numbers up to, actually, I don't know how high you can go, but this is what I do when I make calendar blocks. So definitely you can do 25 days leading up to Christmas. So one dice will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The other one will be 0, 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, and the 6 can be also used as a 9. Now, I wanted my Christmas tree to say days until Christmas, so I just found wording on a Google image search, printed it out, and now I'm using my carbon tracing paper and stylus to get these words spaced out how I want them on my Christmas tree. Again, this is an alternative to using vinyl. You're going to trace it and then go ahead back over it with a paint marker. You could probably even use a Sharpie if you had a good juicy one that wasn't going to dry out on you. So tracing the words with this carbon paper is a nice economical way to add wording to your signs. So then I usually just trace the outlining of the words with my black paint marker and then go back in and fill them in. This is really nice, kind of therapeutic way to add the wording. Okay, so here's those pieces of my box. Now I'm going to glue one of the sides on top all the way to the far edge of the base piece, and then the right hand side is going to be just to the side, so my pieces are going to kind of overlap each other. So again, the left one is glued on top of the base and the right one is to the side. Then that top piece, once the bottom three are dry, we'll glue there in just a moment when those other pieces are dry. I did take a wood star from Walmart's craft section and just painted it with some gold acrylic paint from Walmart, and we will be adding this to the top of our Christmas tree countdown. Now to finish building our box for our dice, you see I put glue there at the left, and then on top of that right side, the top piece will fit on top of the right side and flush up next to the left one. Now once my wording was dry, I'm going to go ahead and cover everything here with one layer of the matte finish Mod Podge. This just gives it a nice uniform finished look and just keeps everything sealed in as far as the paint and the scrapbook paper. Once that Mod Podge is dry, I'll just take some hot glue and glue my wood star there at the top of my tree. And then we will come back to our little box now that that is all dry. And we're going to glue this to the front of the tree. You can see I don't have the tree all the way down. I have it raised up just a little bit, one for the wording and also so you can see most of the tree. So I'm going to use a combination of wood glue here and some hot glue. And I had just kind of figured out where to center the box under the word Christmas and in the middle there of the tree. I am going to also add a little reinforcing hot glue here to the inside of the box and also on the outside right and left sides. Just press that down until it's nice and secure. Then the last step is just to add your number dice inside. There are holes in the back so you can poke the dice out, but this is a really fun craft activity for counting down the days of Christmas. If you are new to my channel today or stopping by for the first time, I really hope you like what you see and you'll consider sticking around for more budget home decor videos. Be sure to click that subscribe button and also check your notifications. Make sure they are set to all so YouTube will notify you each week when I upload new videos. project number 2 is a reversible chalkboard sign. You guys know I love projects that can be kept out for more than one season. So we're going to use one of these standing chalkboards from Dollar Tree, a stencil from a maker studio, and also some fall window clings. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm taking my antique wax and I am going to darken up all of the wood on this chalkboard side of the sign. And then I'm also going to do the entire base and then up around the sides and the top of the frame. So basically the only thing I'm not doing in the antique wax is the rectangle around that back side there that you can see the back side of the chalkboard. I'll also say that I am going to paint that back side with white chalk paint. I don't show myself actually doing that, but you'll see what it looks like after. So the chalkboard side is going to have all antique wax, and then the back side is going to be painted white in the center, and then I'm going to use an orange paint marker you'll see here in just a moment after we get everything nice and finished with the antique wax. So like I said, on this back side, I'm using this orange Sharpie paint marker. You could definitely just use orange acrylic paint. This just felt like it was going to be easier for me to be able to go around those edges. Then you can see I did dry brush some white as well as paint the inside with white chalk paint. So that was the side of the chalkboard that looked unfinished. Here I'm just kind of cleaning up those edges, and then we have this side, which is going to be all a fall side. I'm going to put a layer of matte finish Mod Podge and then just take this Thankful, Grateful, Blessed window cling from a Dollar Tree window cling page and let that dry. Now on the chalkboard side, I'm going to use one of my stencils from a maker studio. I'll have the link to my website for Maker Studio stencils in the description box below. And these are adhesive stencils that you can use over and over. I'm just going to use the words Merry Christmas and the little swirlies. So I am going to be a little careful not to get any of that wreath. I'm using white gel art ink and a spreader, and we're just going to press the paint essentially into the mesh stencil so that our words and our little scrolly, whatever you'd call those, flourish, will end up on our chalkboard. Now here you can see what a nice crisp design you get with these stencils, and then just rinse it off with water and then you'll be able to use it again. Now these are from Hobby Lobby, these little Canadian pine garland stems. You get like 24 of them for $2.99 unless they're on sale. It's even cheaper. I cut this one in half and I just bent it into a small little wreath that we're then going to hot glue to the top there of our chalkboard. Then taking my black and white gingham ribbon from Hobby Lobby, I'm going to tie a small bow to also add to the wreath, kind of where the two ends of the garland stem came together. So glue that there. Then I'm just adding a couple of these little red berries that I had on a floral pick. And that is all I'm going to do on the Christmas side of our little chalkboard sign. Now coming back to the fall side, I'm going to wrap a jute twine bow around my fingers, tie it in the middle with another small piece of jute twine. We'll just tie that in a knot. And then after trimming it, we're going to add this to the top of our fall side of our sign, right above the wording. And then we will add a small fall flower to the center of this bow. And here's our finished fall side of our sign. And I just think you really elevate the value of this little chalkboard by making two different designs that people can display in their home for different seasons. I do have a special, exciting announcement at the end of this video, so be sure to keep watching all the way to the end so you won't miss out. Craft show item number 3 is this Christmas house trio. I actually got this set of 3 wood houses in Target's Bullseye's Playground for $5. Last couple years I've cut my own from just some wood, but I love how these have the little metal chimneys coming out of them. So what I did with the set of 3 is I did paint all of the sides, just not the very tops, with my white chalk paint. Then taking some painter's tape, I'm going to tape around where the roof is, and the roof will be painted black on all 3 of our little houses here. I did only use 1 coat of paint for the white and also the black. You do want to be a little careful going around that chimney, but if you do get some paint on it, it's okay because it scratches right off of the metal once the paint is dry. So I painted all 3 of my houses like this, and then I found these wood stickers. They're dimensional from Hobby Lobby. They're normally $4.99 for this set of 7 words, but if Paper Studio items are half price, you can get all 7 of these wood words for $2.50. I'm going to use joy, hope, and believe on my houses, so I just used a black paint marker to color in those 3 words. Once my houses were dry, I did take some sandpaper, or you can use a sander, electric sander, just to kind of sand those edges where the 2 paint colors meet, give it a little more farmhouse texture, and also make sure those colors are not overlapping each other. I did also, because I'm selling these in my craft show, decided to take the extra step to seal in all the paint with some matte finish Mod Podge. Just easy to do, brush it on and let it dry. Coming back to these Canadian pine stems, I'm going to take 1, and this time I'm going to cut it in thirds. So I'm going to cut 4-inch pieces and make a slightly smaller wreath than the one I used on my chalkboard sign for each of my 3 houses. These are wonderful to work with, and I just think they look really nice and are going to make these Christmas houses just look really high-end and boutique for the craft show. So there's all 3 of my wreaths. Then taking my wood sticker words, I'm just cutting them apart from the backing and just laying them out where I think I'm going to want them. These peel off really easily from the backing. You will want to make sure you don't forget the little dot on the I and also the J. I did not add extra glue to these. I felt like the adhesive on the back was really strong and stuck really well to the Mod Podge finish on my houses. Then I took some hot glue and just putting it on the back of each of my little greenery wreaths. Go ahead and glue that down to the top of each of the houses. Then for a finishing touch, I did add a small jute twine bow to each of the wreaths, and I am in love with these. I didn't show you the back side, but they are also painted white, so they could be kept up for farmhouse for any time of year. I love doing giveaways for my devoted subscribers and viewers, and today I have a special one for you as well. A few weeks ago, I made this DIY using a garden flag from Dollar General and just a few paint sticks. I went back to Dollar General and I was able to find 3 more of these flags. So at the end of this video, be sure to comment which of these 4 projects is your favorite, and you will be entered in to win one of these 3 Give Thanks Dollar General garden flags. So be sure, like I said, to make sure you comment at the end so you can be entered into this drawing. I will close the comments for the drawing Saturday, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. So that's what, Saturday, October 2nd, 2021. So good luck. My fourth and final craft show item for this video is a vase trio using these little mini Christmas ornaments from Walmart, 3 salt shakers, this clear plastic butter dish from Dollar Tree, and some Christmas florals. Now these are plastic, so you can paint them with chalk paint or spray paint, which I'm going to do actually in a little bit, but I would, whatever paint you use, go ahead and seal it with Mod Podge just to make sure your paint doesn't get chipped off of the plastic. So I did start out by using chalk paint, brushing it on. I did then decide to, like I said, use the spray paint, but then I am sealing it with the matte finish Mod Podge. So I used white spray paint for my salt shakers and this part of the butter dish, and then I used black for the base of the butter dish. Now you could leave the top of your salt shakers plain. I decided to go ahead and wrap them with a little bit of the jute twine. Again, just bringing in a little bit more texture and adding to that farmhouse look. So I wrapped maybe 4 or 5 times around each of the tops of my salt shakers and do that to all 3. Now these little mini Christmas ornaments from Walmart are so cute. I have not seen them yet, but I think it'll be very soon this year. I did pick these up last year and hadn't used any yet. These are my favorite. They do have a little black and white gingham bow already on them. So I just picked 3, and what I'm gonna do with the little ribbon that you know, you would hang on a tree is I'm gonna go around just about halfway down on my jute twine there. You can, if it's kind of loose, go ahead and just add a little bit of hot glue to keep that in place around the top of your salt shaker. And then I am going to put a little line of hot glue also on the back to glue it to the jute twine there, to center it and keep it up towards the top of the salt shaker so that when you put it inside the butter dish, you can still read the tag. Then I just retied the little black and white gingham bow that came on there, trim it if you need to, and then hot glue that right where the string goes through the ornament. And I just love the white and black of these, are so cute. You could also turn these vases around to use during the regular part of the year when you're not seeing the little Christmas ornament hanging down. So do that to all 3 of your salt shakers with whatever tag you want, and adding back in your little bows. I will say I did also trim the little extra piece on the, what would be on the top of the black plain ribbon to hang. But these look so cute, and then just add whatever flowers you want. You could just do greenery if you wanted to. These were just some random Christmas florals that I had in my stash, some little like snow-covered branches, some little berries. Have some fun and just play with this, and then like I said, you can always turn them around for the rest of the year with any types of florals inside. And here's our finished product. Again, love the simplicity of the white and black and the pop of color with the greenery and the berries, and love that this can be used on the reverse side for any time of year. Again, thank you so much for joining me today. Again, be sure to comment which of these 4 projects was your favorite, and we'll see you next time. Bye.